Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cancer April 2022 mid-month love, health, and wealth reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance, or more simply put, to better find where you fit. Hi everyone, welcome to everyone who is new, and thank you to everyone who is returning. I can't express how much it means to me that I have your continued support. So this month, or this reading, is meant to be a quick mid-month reading to take a look at the energies of love, health, and wealth, what you need to know around those for the second half of this month. It's a little different this month than my previous months, as I've kind of just done more of an intuitive reading. This one is going to look at these three areas very specifically. All right, so let's jump right into this here. Cancer, we're going to take a look at what do you need to know around the energy of love for the second half of this month? And when we're talking about love, yes, this can be romantic love. It can also be where we're looking at the general energy of love. How open is your receptivity to love, and how open are you to giving love? All right, so we have getting to know each other. It says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. I love this. Okay, I'm going to pull another card here, and then I'm going to pull some clarifiers, and we'll dive into the message. So getting to know each other, I like that it says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Sometimes, even when we've been in a long-term relationship, we may get to this point where we've realized that we haven't allowed ourselves to go to that maybe that deep level where there's a part of yourself that you want to express or speak to or about, and that you actually have never brought that up. We can enter into relationships in all kinds of situations and scenarios, and sometimes we have a lengthy period where we get a chance to really know somebody inside and out before we move into more of a committed relationship that brings in other challenges. Or sometimes we can get really quickly, we move into a relationship where maybe we didn't have a chance to really dive deep and have all of those, kind of deep one-on-one conversations that bring up all of those questions of how kind of your philosophy on life and what you want in your heart of hearts for your life experience. And when we miss out sometimes on sharing a deep, integral part about ourselves in a relationship. Now, this could even be outside of just a romantic partnership. This could be in a work environment. This could be in a familial relationship or even a friendship. When we hold back on sharing a key part about who we are, that this can end up creating down the line a bigger rift. And we end up then kind of wanting to almost like that part then gets to the point where it wants to be expressed. And as we get more and more frustrated around that, the point of the lack of expression, that this can be where we then start to have issues, breakdowns, especially breakdowns in communication. And this can be also where the other person on the other side of this relationship is like, I don't understand why you're so upset, or you're so frustrated, or why you don't seem to be, everything seems fine, but yet you keep kind of like dancing around some inner frustration. And it's because there's some aspect of yourself that you have yet to express, and you need to. Now, this can also be reversed. There could be the other person in your life is doing the same thing, that there might be something that this other person needs to speak to or wants to bring up on an emotional level, and they need to just have a good cry around something, or to dive deeper into some aspect of their experience that you have yet to touch on with them. So there is something here around really kind of leaning into that for the second half of this month. If there's a part of yourself that is integral to your life experience that needs to be expressed in some way, this is going to be the time to do so, and to allow the other person to reciprocate, to be able to do the same. So we have two cards that came up here. We have be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care, number 45, breaking down to a 9, which is a lovely energy when you think about it. So there is something here around that. I think maybe the other person in your life might also want to be able to have that opportunity to express something. And we have relationship patterns. It takes strength to recognize the need for change. Number 32 breaking down to a 5. Number 5 can be a number that denotes chaos and change. And I think there is something here, Cancer, where there is something that needs to be brought up. And it brought up on a integral, deep integral level with who each one of you are as an individual, or is as an individual, and to really come to that place and get to know each other from that point. Who are you? Almost like getting down to that spiritual being. Who are you as a spiritual being, and what does need to change? Now, this could be that you've entered into, again, it could be a work relationship, it could be a romantic partnership, or it could even be a family dynamic, like you and a parent or you and a sibling. But there is something here that it's going that step deeper and allowing yourself to be as open to what the other person says in this conversation as much as to what you need to express as well. And I think perhaps there has been a repeat behavior. Now, it might not have been with this person. Maybe you have a repeat behavior of hiding a part of yourself in a romantic relationship or in a work environment. And this is saying there's time, this is the time now to change that pattern, that it's time to lean into releasing this part of yourself, allowing the other person to do the same, and to really understand what this is actually going to unlock for you. Like, I love that it says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And sometimes we think that when we want to bring out this deep part of ourselves that that are so integral to who we are, that we think it's actually going to, the person might turn their back on us, or they might laugh at it, or they might be shocked by it. And what we don't realize is that within each one of us, there's something like that we are afraid to express, because we project out into the world that part of ourselves being rejected immediately. And if you're in a true partnership that does carry the energy of love, that carries the energy of support and trust with it as well, that's what love brings. And that there is this element of understanding that in order to strengthen that bond, then you also have to strengthen your ability. You know, working with love is like working with a muscle. You have to strengthen your ability to lean into that, to lean into the trust that comes with love, and to trust that as you express, you are equally open to allowing the other person to do the same. Okay, so I'm going to pull some clarifier cards here just to get some additional messages. Oh, this is a lot of, that's too many cards. The Four of Wands did show up, which is interesting. I feel like the Four of Wands is showing up quite a bit in these readings. So there's a lot to be said here for the second half of this month in general, as we move forward into Taurus season, just around looking at the foundations we've built from the actions we've taken, and really, as we move into Taurus season, looking at what we value, because that is the motto for Taurus as a astrological sign. It is I value, or I have. And so there is something around us, I think, all in the second half of the month, really looking at what are the foundations we've built, and do they uphold our value, our self-worth, and are they valuable to me? Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So there's something here around being tired. Let's see, I've got quite a few other cards here too. So there's something here around, this is kind of the weary, wounded warrior, and then the Two of Pentacles. So there is something about having to have juggled the day-to-day tasks, and you're exhausted from that. That you feel like you've kind of come so far, and it's just it's almost like I'm getting a feeling of like the never-ending cycle of like, ugh, every day I have to wake up and do more and do more and do more. And with these additional cards popping up here, we have the Page of Cups, we have the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. So there is something here around getting back to this kind of innocent quality of, this kind of is the card that, as I was thinking about when two people kind of come together on this like deep innocent, this deep place of, I want to just show you who I am. that it does bring up this kind of innocent quality of the Page of Cups, of getting back to that place of your inner child, of like, this is who I am, and I hope you can love and support this child, this inner vulnerable child of mine. And what I'm seeing here with the Nine of Pentacles is that there's this element of independence and stability that you have currently. The Nine of Pentacles is when we have a very good amount of abundance. I mean, we get to enjoy it. We get to have the gratitude for that. But there is this feeling of also understanding that you are one pentacle away from a legacy. And that one pentacle means that you actually have to leave kind of this walled, safe, secure garden to go out into the world to seek that 10th pentacle, to understand that you have to grow. And in order to grow, we have to leave a comfort zone. Now, with the Knight of Cups, this is the hopeful romantic. This is the person who wants to go out there with this sense of, I'm going to take my innermost, innocent inner child, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take action from that place. And with the Seven of Pentacles coming in, the Seven of Pentacles is one where we are evaluating, what have we grown so far? Where have we put time and energy into something? And what has it reaped for us right now? As we're looking at the results of the time and the energy we've put to something, is it worth it for me to continue to put time and energy towards this? And there's something around this that says yes, that there is this hopeful quality that wants to be expressed. And not even just hopeful quality, it's taking action from that place. That is the Knight of Cups. He's going out and he's actually using his emotions and expressing them in a way that, with the Seven of Pentacles here, is in a way of saying, I'm going to continue to put effort towards what we've been working on, or what I've been working on, because I am hopeful on a deep emotional level that this is what I want, that the results that are coming through are ultimately, may not be the everything I want, but it's reaping benefits that I feel good about. So there's something here about kind of the inner child, of having this time of independence and abundance, but now it's about going out, and I get this feeling strongly of working towards something else, working toward, like, when I'm kind of seeing all of these paired together in this way, there's this feeling of, it took me so long to get to this place, but all we're doing is juggling. And I don't know if it's worth it for me to, I know I want to put energy towards this, but I can't because of all the other things in the way, and I'm exhausted. And I think all of this, and again, this can be in a work environment too. This could be where you're exhausted in a work environment and you want to work on finishing a project or something along those lines, and yet you have not expressed the need for help. You've not expressed that even though everything looks great on the surface, that your inner child is like, suffering inside. So for this month, or for the second half of this month, Cancer, it's about leaning into the fact of really being able to, I think, express to the other person what you want to work on, and really where you're feeling exhausted, where you're feeling like you're kind of spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere, and allowing the hopeful, romantic expression to come through, to speak from that place of, I want to prioritize this in my life because of how it makes me feel, because I love this, because of X, Y, and Z. And that can allow then your partner to open up and say, I didn't realize how much that meant to you. Or they can come and say, I also have been feeling the same way. I have something else that I also would like to add to this. And maybe you guys can combine that together to help you really utilize the independence you have, the abundance you have, but maybe work on this together. Really like that, Cancer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to pull a card for the realm of health, and I'm going to have a disclaimer here, I'm not a medical practitioner, so this is not looking at your physical health or your mental health. This is looking at the state of your spiritual health. So we're looking for any energetic blocks that might be preventing you from keeping that side of your experience healthy. Now, I do have a blog up on my website that speaks about spiritual health, what is spiritual health, why it's important to focus on it as a part of your holistic all health. So if you want to check that out, feel free. Ooh, all right, so we have, looks like 3 cards that just flew out here. We have second chakra, Archangel Uriel, which is, second chakra is your sacral chakra. This is about creativity, what you can actually create. You know, it's in a woman, that would be like where her, you know, womb would be. So there's an element of actual creation. Number 36 breaking down to a 9. We have the thinking man, number 46, breaking down to a 10, further breaking down to a 1, and then the angel of strength, number 50, breaking down to a 5. So there is, with this kind of coming through in health, I think as you move from this point around love, that there is something here around creativity that needs to be creativity. And when we think of the thinking man, this might be there is a strategizing card in this deck, but this might be that in speaking about something in your life that you want to work towards with another, that there is this element of creation and working with somebody who might bring in a new way to, it's almost like you feeling like, okay, I couldn't see the forest through the trees, I'm trying to do all of this stuff, and then expressing like, this is actually what I want to do, this is what I want to work on, this is what I want to grow. You allow your partner, or you allow your coworker, or you allow a friend or whatever to come out and say, you know what, like, let's brainstorm how we can do this a little better. Why don't we, I see what you want to create, and I think it's time maybe that we do these steps first, and we take some of this off of your plate, I take some off of mine, and we kind of do a reorganization. With the angel of strength coming in, some of you may be either dealing with a Leo in your life, just to kind of harness that energy of the sun card as well. But there is, the strength card in the tarot. But there is also this energy of kind of really, I think, diving deep within yourself to have the strength to follow through. That it's not just enough to express the need to change something here, or to want to work towards something. It's also about realizing that to break a pattern and to make a change, no matter what level, even if it's breaking a pattern in how you work, that it takes strength to do that. It takes strength to maybe allow somebody else to take the lead for a moment, or allow somebody else to say like, well, let's maybe redo the plan a little bit. But it also takes strength to see it through. That if you do want to create something, and there's a strong energy of creation here, a strong energy of growing something, that can take multiple people to allow a creation to come to fruition. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some additional clarifier cards here. So I'm really getting this feeling of partnership, of working with another, of as you start to open up, others come in to kind of help you strategize. Okay, so we have the Knight of Coins, which could indicate a Virgo in your life, but this is also the energy of slow-moving, methodical action in the physical. It's a great card for planning. It's a great card of really seeing those, creating those action steps forward, but in a measured way. And the Eight of Coins, beautiful. Okay, so this is exactly what we're speaking about here. It's this slow, methodical movement, and the Eight of Coins speaks to really perfecting. It's a card of kind of mastering something, kind of keeping your head down and focusing on you and focusing on mastering what you're working on. So it's moving from the Seven of Coins here to the Eight of Coins, where suddenly you're starting to see the picture form. You're committing. The Eight of Coins brings that energy of commitment, and the Knight of Coins does as well. The Knight of Coins brings in that energy of we are committing to a long-term step-by-step process. And as we're doing that, part of that is the Eight of Pentacles is working on what we want to create. We can have the strategy, and we can actually have that perfecting quality. So there's definitely the Virgo energy coming through. And some of you may actually, for some of you, there could actually be a Virgo in your life that is very good at strategizing. For anybody who has a Virgo or Virgo placements in your chart, you understand that there is this element of that perfecting analysis quality of the Virgo mindset, and that actually is Virgo's motto in the Zodiac is I analyze. And it's a great quality because that person can really be able to see like, okay, what's as I analyze all the information, what are these integral steps that need to be made, and what can we really start to work on now? So it's great. A great place to kind of, when you're thinking of blocks, to really allow yourself to lean in and strategize with another, to allow this creation to come through. And sometimes that strength can be just us having to realize it can't all just happen at this moment. We do have to have that long-term plan. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to pull a final card here for the concept of wealth, which everybody loves, including myself. And this can be wealth on a level where, yes, it can be financial wealth. It can be any type of abundance when we think about it. But it can also be just where you want to feel wealthy. What right now would make you feel better about your life experience if you had a wealth of it, meaning more time in your life, more love in your life, more support, more, whatever it is that you really want to experience. So for wealth, we have soulmates. Oh, I love this. Number 41, breaking down to a 5. There's also that number of change coming through again. Beautiful. So when we're thinking of wealth, soulmates doesn't always have to indicate a romantic partnership. This can be just people in our lives that support us, that care deeply for us, and that I love that he's holding the key here, and that hold the key to unlocking and elevating some aspect of our experience. They're a person that at this point is here on our journey to help us grow and expand some vision and some level of the abundance that we get to experience manifested in our physical environment. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some cards here, some clarifier cards to see what wants to come through further in soulmates. Oh, we have the Lovers. Okay, wow, that's a double confirmation there. So I think for a lot of you, this is around a romantic partnership, and this does speak to really leaning into that supportive energy of love, leaning into sharing the deepest parts of yourself, allowing the other person to do the same, and allowing your vision for the future to line up together. And to really... that's interesting. 2 cards came up here. We have 4 of Pentacles and the Star. All right, wow. Okay. Love it. So, Cancer, right off the bat, what I'm seeing here is 4 of Pentacles is holding back. That's a card of being, at a stable place. It's a 4, it's a foundation, but you're holding back from committing physically to pursuing your star. And the star is that big hope, dream, wish for ourselves. It's like guiding that part of ourselves that we always kind of feel is there, that we hope for. And we can't always put like an exact finger on that. As we grow and we evolve, and that North Star can sometimes change in the way that we can imagine it. Meaning that maybe at one point when we were younger, we thought our star was to have, a perfect marriage with 2.5 children and a home in the suburbs, and that was all we wanted. And then as we get a little older and we experience a little bit more of ourselves in life, we see, wow, I'm capable of a lot more than that. Like, yeah, I still want that, but ultimately why I wanted that was because I thought that that would provide me with a level of security and a committed partnership, and it would provide me with a sense of fulfillment. And I feel that that's what I want. But now that feeling has expanded to include not only that, but beyond. Now I want to be a part of a community that is, of the similar type of people, or I feel now that I want to have a career, a passion-based career. In addition to that, there's something around allowing that star to expand for yourself. I mean, when we think of star energy, we think of our own sun. There is an expansive quality, is emanating light and heat constantly. But there's also this kind of getting past this holding back point. And in order, and really for you to be able to do that, to feel the wealth of what you want in your heart of hearts for yourself, is to lean in to not only what you love and investing in that. So for those of you who are not in a romantic partnership, this can literally be, lovers can be meaning making a choice in love to follow what you love, and that you're holding yourself back from doing that. And that it's time to lean in to those around you who hold the key to helping you get to that place. Or this is specifically, its entire reading is around a relationship, a romantic relationship, and it's about stop holding back from really being vulnerable in love and expressing what you want to work towards. Because sometimes, yes, we each have our own star, and yes, we are each on our own unique path, but two people's stars can be very close to each other, and two people's paths can align. And it's one of those things where when we both show the star that we're pointing towards, it can be one of those things where the other person has the opportunity to say, okay, well, mine is in relation to yours here. So this is where this is the beautiful space in between to achieve both of those together. And you're really being asked in the wealth sector here there's something around physically committing. So there's going to have to be either a physical commitment of giving more time, a physical commitment of possibly investing money. There is something around that. So it's almost like I'm hearing a little bit, it takes money to make money. There's going to be a little bit of that. It's almost like you guys are going to have to both get on the same page and say, okay, we can invest for a year at this rate, understanding that we're going to lose money until we hit that year point. And then at that point we need to, it's kind of like that mentality of understanding that, or saying the same thing about time, that, I'm going to have to spend 2 hours every night instead of us hanging out in front of the TV watching Netflix. I have to take those 2 hours and really work on doing something that pertains to making this vision happen. So either way, this is the second half of the month is really about partnership, owning up to what you want to work towards, and allowing somebody else to come in and help create that step by step with you to support this dream for your future. Beautiful energy, Cancer. So for any of you who are interested in an additional reading for the month of April, I do have the Illumination readings up on my YouTube channel. They are a more expanded reading to take a look at challenges and blocks and how to overcome those for the month. If you're looking for a personal reading, the link to my website is in the description box below. Just to let everyone know, I do obviously the personal readings pre-recorded and live, but I do now have a place to have one-on-one interactions and readings with people in the Northern Virginia area. So if you are in my area, feel free to book a personal reading. I would love to sit for one with you. And just as a heads up, for the month of May, I will also be changing up a little bit of the routine, and that the May illumination reading will also include an extended at an additional cost. So there'll be an expanded second half of that video to watch. All right, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful second half to your April, and I look forward to seeing you all in Taurus season for May's illumination reading. Bye, guys.